Hey, this is Fernie Sabalas. If you want to learn why building deep is more important than building wide, stay tuned. A special guest and I will be showing you why and how. Hello and welcome to this week's Attraction Marketing Biz Builder lesson, and I'm extremely excited you made it here today. Today I have none other than the world famous social media icon, Gary Vaynerchuk, here to share with you how you can use the internet and social media to build long-term relationships and a loyal following of business partners and customers. This training was taken from a keynote Gary delivered at a live event we hosted a couple years ago in Las Vegas in front of 700 affiliate marketers and network marketers. Now, fair warning, there are a lot of F-bombs, so make sure you get the kids out of the room before you start playing, but the value is undeniable. I'll let the training speak for itself, and I'll be back in a few to share with you exactly how you can apply these strategies and principles in your home business. See you in a bit.
Guys, to build a real business, there's a really big difference between being rich and being wealthy. The difference is holding on to it. The only way you can hold on to it is by being a real fucking human being, having real skills, and most of all, bringing real value to the consumer. That's the only way. Tons of people can make it. Thank you. Guys, it's easy as fuck to be a hunter, right? It's easy as fuck to be a hunter. Who's a farmer in this room? Show me the farmers in this room, because that's when you start actually building something. It's easy to be a hunter because I met some amazing people and the stories are incredible. 40 minutes ago, he was delivering food. Now he's making 6 figures. It's easier than you think. I'm not making fun of him, I'm fucking pumped for him, right? I'm a capitalist, I'm pumped. What I'm concerned about is, but I want him to have it forever. You know what tastes really bad? Getting somewhere and then going backwards. You wanna know what the worst taste of all time is? The one that you never want is getting somewhere and then going back. I'd rather stay in the fucking ghetto. You know what? When my parents and I had no fucking money, we were fucking happy. You know, the climb is fine. You're fine. You don't need that much, right? It's not about stuff. Cool, you got a good fucking watch. Fuck you. Right? That means shit. What's interesting is doing something that, first of all, leaves a legacy. Let me remind every person in this room something quite important. Everything you do on the internet, everything you sell, everything you co-promote to make a commission on, everything you peddle is documented forever. And I think about this every day. Thousands of people ask me to give quotes to their books all the time, and I don't. It's not because I don't want to or I'm a jerk. I'd love the exposure. Lots of books, my name there. I just don't know who they are. I just don't know what they're gonna do. And I don't wanna be affiliated with something long term because I know that I'm gonna have to talk to my grandkids about this stuff. We're living in a world that is so fucking different than the world that we all grew up in that it's almost indescribable. All the dumb shit that your grandma did through the years, lost in history. All your dumb shit, forever known. The far majority of the people in this room, if you're putting out any information on the internet, will be the patriarchs of their family forever. I am the patriarch of the Vaynerchuk family for the rest of time. Because 1,000 years from now, there's gonna be a hell of a lot more information and documented videos and this keynote and everything to the world to have, and they're gonna know about who we were and how we rolled based on me. And I take that as a massive responsibility. And any short-term check is super not interesting to me in return for what that's about. And so listen, it's easy, right? You may be sitting there and saying, good, great, who gives a fuck? You're sitting up there and you've already made money, right? It's easy. It's easier to be zen when you don't have it. And I respect the crap out of it. Do your thing. But here's what I know. If you wanna have long-term value, you need to bring long-term value. And I promise you that if you've been in this industry for long enough and you talk to some of the old school peeps, there's a diminishing return day in and day out. You've got to bring value. You have to, and you have to innovate. But how did I get there? I got there for a variety of reasons, suggested usually on Twitter, of course, but also because I had a couple 100,000 before they put me on, because I grinded it out one by one by one by one. I searched Merlot. And somebody inevitably in 2008 on Twitter would say, going home tonight, having a bottle of Merlot. I saw that, and I would jump in on Twitter and I would say, which one? And then they would be like, who's this person? But on Twitter, it's not creepy. Some of you might not be on Twitter. Twitter's different than Facebook. You know your stuff is going to everybody. So it's like a cocktail party. It's not what I'm doing now. Right now, I'm giving a presentation. For the last 30 minutes, I'm gonna be signing books, taking pictures. Cocktail party, right? Different context. I jumped in and said, which one? They would look at me and say, well, I don't know. But then they would see in my bio, host of Wine Library TV. It linked out to Wine Library TV. They clicked it, right? Then they would look at the show, and either they were annoyed by me because I'm fucking annoying, or they loved me because I'm fucking ridiculous, right? One of the two things. But then I converted at whatever percentage I deserved based on my talent. Let me say that again. I converted, whatever percentage I converted based on my talent to be charismatic, entertaining, and most of all for that industry, I just knew a shitload about wine. By the way, how many people here drink Pinot Grigio? Raise your hand, just curious. 24, good. Stop drinking that shit. Write this down, Soave. I see you, lady. You right there, yes, darling. S-O-A-V-E, Soave. All right, sorry, had to get in wine mode. I converted, I saw earlier the funnel, right? Your funnel, the funnel that we had up here, I don't see him. The funnel of conversion, we think about conversion. I will tell you that I'm looking for sticky conversion. I convert winelibrary.com and my book sales better with SEM, SEO, banner ads, better than social media. I'm gonna say it again, better, upfront. It costs me less money to get them into my funnel on those platforms. But the lifetime value of the people that I get through social media is dramatically higher. So that's it. You make a choice. You make a choice if you do want to make it up front, do you want to make it long term? Can you afford to play the long game? I'm a marathon runner. And I believe that I'm in a room of a lot of sprinters, and that's with all due respect. That's with all due respect. I'm telling you that applying marathon concepts has a lot of value. How many people here have called every single person that became a customer of their product and thanked them? Called every one of them. WineLibrary.com gets 100 to 300 new customers a day, and we call them and we thank them. We call them and say, thank you for placing an order on WineLibrary.com. Which, by the way, fun fact for you, New Jersey is one of 2 states that you're allowed to actually record the conversation with the person without letting them know. Wonder why. So I listened to some of these conversations. We have 20% call us back and say they're sorry for the way the call went. We call them to say thank you for their order, we hang up, and then they call back and say, hey, sorry about that call. The customer. Do you know why? So many of them act weird when we call them because they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. We literally call them and say, hey, Tom, really appreciate you ordering this Pinot Grigio. You know, make sure you chill it nice and enjoy it. Thank you for shopping winelibrary.com. Have a great day. And then you literally hear, okay, thanks, bye. And then they call back because they literally were waiting to say, and if you buy a case of Merlot, we'll do free shipping. Everybody's always trying to close. We're living in a noisy world. You guys are getting pounded. I look at, by the way, this isn't my intuition. I look at data every day, from the biggest companies in the world to entrepreneurs and small businesses to the biggest startups. The data is very clear. Push marketing is in trouble. The supply and demand of just pounding your message down the throat, buying lists, teaming up with lists, pushing, it's diluting quickly, and this next generation that only grew up with the internet, only grew up with pre-rolls, only grew up with email spam, they're not seeing it at all. There's a study coming out that proves that people under the age of 25 literally can't see or recall the right side of a website at minute after they were on the website. Why? Because they don't look on that side because they grew up on Facebook and that's where the ads were. Can't recall, just can't. And so we're living in this world where I highly recommend we start thinking about building actual relationships and having deep relationships, not wide relationships. 80 customers that care and pay forever are a hell of a lot better than 400 that pay once. It's the same old game. You guys know this, and I know you do. I know you know it. The problem is you're always trying to figure out how to scale even those 80. And I'm saying don't. I'm saying put in the effort. To build a real business, you have to treat it like a parent. You know which kids work out? The ones that were parented. You can't, you know who loses? When fucking the 16-year-old smoked some fucking weed, crashed a car into the fucking tree, and the parents come home who never gave a fuck for 16 years, get together and go, we need to take care of little Jimmy. Guess what? You're fucked. You should have took care of little Jimmy the first 16 years. That fucking ship sailed. And that is the same way I think about business. And it is the same way I think about business. And I think that I respect scale, and you need to think about scale. Content is king. You need to pump it out. The Guinness Beer Company created the Guinness Book of World Records. Do you know I grew up in the liquor business and didn't know that until 10 months ago? How many people here did not know that the Guinness Beer Company started the Guinness Book of World Records? Raise your hand. Far majority. Do you know why they did it? They realized that the people at pubs spoke about trivia, so they created content to reinforce the brand. So if you're selling nutritional products, start making content about all healthy living. Don't just talk about your product, talk about fucking running and eating healthy and the other things. You need to bring value. Value is the game, it is the only game, and with the web, we can scale. There's no gatekeepers, there's nobody stopping you from writing in the New York Times or Forbes or any of these issues. You could create the content. And listen, so we're living in very, very, very incredible times. I promise you that if you looked 20 years ago and you were living your normal life 20 years ago, and I gave you a snapshot of what we're doing right now, of the way we're doing phones, and that people recording keynotes on their phones, on all these things that we're doing, watching TV, live TV on our phones, all these different things that we do, that nobody would believe it, that your parents, grandparents, you yourself, it would blow your mind, right? That your phone is in your hand at all times, that you play 4 hours of fucking Angry Birds, like that we do all this shit. Your mind would be blown, but that's what's happened because the world always evolves. And I ask you as marketers and salespeople here to understand that it's at its basic nature that you need to engage with your consumer, that you need to build deeper bonds, that you need to use Twitter to engage at scale about what they're talking about your product, when they're talking about the genre, the overall space. That on your Facebook fan page, I'm writing a new book that comes out in November. It's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. The whole thesis is give, 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 ask. You can sell your shit. You can sell your shit all day long. But unfortunately today, with the way social works, it's unlike email. Email was expected for you to send information and you couldn't do anything else. On social, you have to bring value first. You have to build up equity. You love your parents because they loved you first. And that's how we have to treat business. On the wine stuff, I have to give you information, pictures, tell you what the 10 best wines in Europe are. You ask, what wine should I order at a restaurant? I go on their website, look at their list, and tell you. You have to put in the work, because when I then push out, buy my wine, you have context, you have emotion, you feel, guys, I guilted people into buying Crush It. When Crush It sold, and a bunch of you have it here, when Crush It sold, nobody knew who I was. I guilted the 30, 40,000 people I talked to every day and gave value into buying it. I show up at a New York Times best-selling list, I had no media, no promotion. I was like, how'd that happen? Easy. I fucking gave for 3 years to 30,000 people and they all bought a copy, right? No substitution. No substitution. Now, are some of the concepts and infrastructure that people talk about from scaling, can that work? Absolutely. Can technology help you? Absolutely. If you want to do hunting, but if you want to do retention, if you want to do acquisition, there are things that can be done. But if you want retention and long-term business growth, you have to apply both. There's no one. All the magic is in the gray. Nothing is black and white. It's not just all technology and lists and infrastructure, and it's not all warm and fuzzy Zen shit that I just talked about. It is the mix, and you've got to figure out that mix for your business, but most of all, you need to understand and ask yourself, in your heart, fucking be true, go fucking into your hotel room, run the hot water, get it steamy, wipe off the fucking window, look yourself dead in the fucking face, and think to yourself, and ask yourself without being a douchebag and lying to yourself, ask yourself truthfully, do I believe in the product that I sell? Because if you don't, you've lost. I promise.
Well, that was effing awesome. Now, there was a lot packed in this lesson, and you'll probably want to watch it a few times, but the bottom line is that you have to care about the needs, wants, and desires of your prospects, whether you find them online or offline. But you got to put what you want second if you want to be wealthy. The reason I build online and no longer do traditional cold market prospecting or recruiting is because active prospecting, while it may work well if you know what you're doing, is almost always initiated by a selfish agenda of wanting to recruit more people so you can make more money, not help your prospect. The reason I love using internet methods to go after the cold market, which are people you don't know, is because you can target people who have a specific problem in their life, whether they need to make more money, they need to be healthier, lose weight, look younger, etc. And you can hit them with a message which goes something like this. Hey, you seem to have this problem and I'm pretty sure it's extremely frustrating. I can help you fix that issue in your life. Will you allow me to show you how? And that's pretty much the message. That's it. And then when they say yes, you don't try to sell them your stuff, or as Gary would put it, sell them your shit. You counsel them, advise them, educate them until they buy into your philosophy, and then you can offer them solutions which can include your product, service, or opportunity. There has to be a holistic approach where you're taking care of the entire individual and not just about what you're trying to get them to do. For me, this approach results in at least 30 to 50 new customers per day and anywhere between 5 to 20 new business builders per day on almost complete autopilot, because people see the value of being aligned with you, not just your product or opportunity. Well, that's it for this lesson. If you got value from this video and would like more free lessons, please like, comment, and share with your friends in this industry. I would love to continue the conversation with you via the comment box below, and I invite you to check us out at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. On behalf of everyone at Elite Marketing Pro, have a wonderful and productive week. For 10 free online recruiting lessons and to get information about my best-selling book, where I dive deep into rejection-free sponsoring methods using the internet, visit elitemarketingpro.com/go. I'll see you there.